Hello and welcome to another video on salt. So today I'm going to be salting my main pond. I've got it all set up here and I'll be showing you how I'm going to do it. So let's start with a little bit of information about why I'm using salt. So I don't find salt actually to be a good treatment for anything. I don't think it's a good idea to salt a normal pond. So why am I salting this pond? I'm salting it because there's a lot of fish in here. There's nothing wrong with them. A couple of fish have got a few scabs due to there being a large amount of fish in here and having a bit of a fight and stuff like that. So there's a couple of scabs on some fish. So I want to do something about that to make sure it's not going to get any worse. And obviously with a large amount of fish in it, if you start getting poorly fish, you can have problems really quick, and salt might help with that. So I don't recommend actually salting a pond. I don't think it's a particularly good idea. It doesn't treat anything. In fact, it actually hinders treatment, because if you have something in your pond like Trichodina, Costia, whatever, you can't actually put potassium permanganate in as well as salt. That will not do your fish any good. See, this fish here has got a bit of a scab on his side, and see, it's beginning at season and stuff like that, so I think maybe they've been spawning and getting a bit frisky and probably rubbing on things and stuff like that, and I just want to make sure I'm not going to get any issues. I also want to sell some of these fish, so I want to make sure that they're going to be as pristine as possible for selling them, so that's why I'm salting them today. So firstly, I've scraped the fish and I've made sure there's nothing on them. Obviously, again, if there were something on them, I couldn't treat with my main one, which is potassium permanganate, because there's salt in the pond. So there we go. So what am I doing? Right, normally I'd use a different pump to this, but it's doing another job, so I've got to use this one. So what I do is I siphon the water out of the pond using this pipe here. So I've got a strainer on end so I don't suck a fish up, and then basically just siphon it into this tank, filling this tank up with water. Then I put the salt in and it mixes into this water here, and then this pump sucks it up and sprays it into the tank, the sort of brine solution, I guess you could say, and sprays it into the pond. That way I'm not going to get any settled salt in the bottom of the pond, which will not do the fish any good. If there's patches of salt in the pond, it will burn the fish. So I need to make sure that it all dilutes into the water and will not cause my fish any issues with that. So this is basically how I do it. Normally I just put a submersible pump in and pump it straight into the pond, but I ain't got one, so I'm using this. It's my main pond's spare pump, and I'm just going to be sucking it up. The only disadvantage of this is I've got to start it. I'll be starting it with a pond vac, because obviously it's above the water level, so it can't really suck water up. So I've got to start it, and hopefully this nozzle's going to spray it. I might end up taking that nozzle off if it's restricting the pump too much. So yeah, let's crack on with it. So before I start, how much salt am I putting in? Well, I want it to be 0.3% salt level. So this is a 41,000 litre pond. So 0.3% of 41,000 litres is 123. So I'll be putting in at least 123 kilograms of salt, and it comes in these 25 kilo bags right here. So I'll be putting in 125 kilos of salt, which is obviously a lot of salt, and that's why I do it like this, because obviously if I was pouring it in, the whole floor would just end up white. It wouldn't mix in very well at all, and then the bottom drains would be sucking it in, and it'd be going into my drum filter, which would block my drum filter up and just cause me problems. So this is why I'm doing it like that. So the salt I'm actually using is food grade PDV salt, pure dried vacuum salt, and in these big bags it's quite reasonably priced and easy to get, so it's also quite a reliable sort of salt for fish and stuff like that, so you know there's nothing in it that shouldn't be in it, whereas some salts you can get from supermarkets have got other things in them that you don't want to be putting in your pond. This is just salt and that's it, so it's going straight in, not going to cause me a problem. So let's crack on with it now. I'll show you how I do it. So anyway, I've just left it running a minute, and actually, I'm not getting salted yet, but the fish seem to really like the water falling in. That's pretty cool, that. So I might have to do something like that at some point. I've been meaning to. I used my petrol pump for a bit, about a month ago, and used it to like cause a fast current in the pond, and the fish seem to really like it. So I'm gonna have to find something out to do with that. So I'm really keen on that waterfall in it. It won't when it's full of salt. Oh yeah, I've took that jet nozzle off. It was restricting the pump a bit too much, and the tank was filling up a bit fast. It's sort of found an equilibrium. Right, so I've got my salt tester here, and obviously I haven't salted it, but there will be a little bit in, because obviously there's salt in tap water, so it will get a bit. So there's 0.03% salt in it, which is exactly what's in tap water. So what I need to do is get that to 0.3%. So 125 kilos of salt should do it. Using one of these is also a really good way to find out your pond's water volume. If you have a weird shaped pond or can't calculate for whatever reason what your pond's volume actually is, then if you put this in, it says 0.3%, and then add 125 kilos of salt in my case, and it says 0.3, you know that it's just over 41,000 litres. So all I'm doing now is get a bag of salt, like so. Dump it in there. Let it mix in. There's one bag. And if we have a look in the pond, you can sort of see the salt coming in there. See how it's making the water murky. Working its way around the pond. Yeah, so if I want to, I can get a stir around and that and stir it up and it'll find its way, but it will actually make its own way to the pond. All I've got to do now is put in the other 4 bags. So let's get on with that. Bag number 2. Just keeping it all stirred up, not going to put in another bag just yet. So I got rid of this salt. This is a stick I clean my windows with. 3rd bag going in. So I've let it clear up a little bit. Yep, let that one clear up. So I'm going to use some partially ripped bags just to get rid of them. I don't know how much is in these ones. But that's, I guess, the 4th bag. What I'll do is I'll probably just put an extra bag in. Come in, there's a bit extra salt for a couple of days. But doesn't really matter because I look out. Definitely going to drop this in. So that will be the 5th bag, 125 kilos, but I'm just going to put an extra one in. So this is, I guess, the 6th bag. Obviously there's a bit missing out of them, so I reckon there's probably an extra 20 kilos in. I don't think there were that much missing. I shall bring it up a little bit, but with this pan it won't stay high for long. There we go, one clean tank. No salt left in it at all. That's how you do it. And there shouldn't be any salt on the bottom of the pond. None that I can see. You definitely can't see over the top. And what I'll do is let that mix in for a bit, and then I'll come back and test it with the tester and see what levels we've got. So all that salt should have all settled in and mixed around the pond fairly evenly now. So what I'm going to do is get a test. Let's turn around and see what we've got. What have we got? 0.31, 0.32, 0.33. Smashing. 0.34 apparently. So I've managed to raise it by 0.31%. Obviously it started at 0.03, so that's exactly pretty much where I wanted it. I wanted it about 0.3, so being slightly over that's not an issue. Probably weren't as much salt in them 2 extra bags that had already been damaged that I thought there were, and also I've sort of, the process of sort of doing all this pumping has wasted a little bit of water, so it's ended up having a bit of fresh water in. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that salt level. That's perfect. That'll hopefully keep my fish from having any problems. Obviously the only issue is now I can't treat it. If I do get any parasite stroke like that, can't really treat it with salting. But with this particular pond, salt actually dilutes out fairly fast, so probably be quite well diluted out in about 6 weeks time, something like that, with how much water I trickle in and stuff like that, just how it works. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, then please like it. If you want to see more videos like this, then please feel free to subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, then please put them below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.